Hey guys, welcome along. Another Tuesday night, another week's flown by. He's like, wait, it's 7 o'clock. I'm exactly on time. The dude. It's all good. Hey, I like my new beanies, but it's a bit warm. I'll leave it on for a minute. Kind of looks brown in that, but in my screen, but it's not. It's grey. I promise. Yeah. So what's been happening, guys? What's going on? What's rocking your guys' world this week? Like, what's going on? You all revved up for Thanksgiving? On turkey cooking duty, I assume. Josh Homan, hey, glad to have you along. Old timer F7, hello mate, how you doing? Dude, you're looking beautiful tonight as always. Well, what can I say? They said you needed a sexy model for the new merchandise, So here I am. What do we got? What's on the to be? Howdy, Kiwi. Yep, Thanksgiving is always fun. Yeah, it is actually. We've kind of adopted in this house. We've kind of adopted Thanksgiving. It's not something we do in New Zealand, obviously, because that's a piece of American history. But it's I like, we all like the kind of sentiment of it. It's getting together, friends and family. There's no pressure of Christmas gifts and all that kind of stuff. It's just let's just get together and enjoy each other. So we've kind of adopted that in the Kiwi house, and we run with it. So Jeff Hutchins, Kiwi, long time no see. Well, it's good to have you back in, brother. And here we got Stephen Milne. Great to watch you. Great to watch you get that power seat switch running again. Yeah, that was kind of fun. I really enjoyed seeing the internal workings of that. That was fun. Todd DeNeo, Kiwi from Eli in Minnesota. Oh, a bit of snow up there, is it? I imagine there would be. What do we got? Golfy09, did Kiwi ever eat kangaroo meat? No, mate, I've never tried that. Well, the wife has, but I have not. Old timer F7, that shirt is awesome. Which one? The Kev one? You can't really see that. Let me pull the screen down a little bit. We got Super Kev here, doing a bit of this left and right through the screen always screws me up. I can't figure out where I am. Good Lord. Doing the burnout, skidding the wheels. So he's kind of cool. And then we got Large Marge. Try and give you a little bit of a close-up of that. Large Marge sent me, so you can all wear that proudly on your back. And that's on the back, that's on the front. So you should get a good view of that. And the fella there, the face, that's the Maori warrior, and the kind of the back of the headdress is a silver fern, which is a Kiwi New Zealand symbol. So that's my logo on my business cards and all my work stuff. So that's kind of cool. Let's put Large Marge around again. And we've got a ton of these, so if you want them. Now, the only trick is it is a sneak preview because I haven't actually got the shop. I've got to get with Spotify and create like a little shop so you guys can buy this stuff. In the meantime, you can just email me, tell me what you want. We've got from small up to 3XL. And in either of the two designs. And we got the beanies. Shirts. Large Marge shirt is a bit more expensive. That's $26. $22 on the Super Kev, because you've got we've got the Kiwi Classics logo down here. And but there's nothing on the back. This is just a one-side print, so it's a little bit cheaper. Hopefully you guys are going to love them, buy a few. I'll drop the email down here in a second. I just want to try and keep up with what you guys are saying. Stray Bullet, hey Kiwi, good to have you along. Mark M, hey Kiwi from Washington. Oh, cool, man. Glad to have you in the room. Stray Bullet, Sean McDonald, g'day from Timaru. How are you, mate? South Island boy. That's the way. Old timer, yes, the Kevin shirt. Cool. What's on it to be? Looks like the Subaru sticker on the Falcon HOL car. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like. I mean, that's just a no excuses rip-off of that Subaru thing. So yeah, no apologies. That's a cool looking thing on the GT Falcons. So yeah, why not? What do we got? Golfy, do you like doing metal work or mechanical work? I actually like a mix of both. Metal work, the metal work I like is the more custom stuff. When I've got to make something, make a shape, make a spoiler, make a new wheel arch opening, like just cutting an old quarter off, putting a stock one back on is a little repetitive. But yeah, I do like the creative side of it when I can make something like completely different. That's what I get a kick out of. Granddad's junk. G'day, Kiwi Brotherhood. Yep. What's on it to be? Using Shopify. That's the plan, to use Shopify. I just haven't got it up yet. I wasn't expecting these. I was kind of hoping I'd have them tomorrow, and they rung today and said, "Hey, come and get them." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I went and got them. Now these are really nice t-shirts. They're good quality. I didn't want to try and sell you guys cheap t-shirts. There's a lot of companies out there that kind of work with YouTube, and they're like print to order, and them and YouTube take a little cut along the way. These are all pre-ordered. They're a good quality shirt. This one's black. The large one is like a dark grey marl, or like a charcoal grey. And yeah, like really good quality. Not going to all shrink up on you. For your reference, this is a XL. So if you want a large, you have to be a little bit slimmer than me. But Fleetwood, hey Kiwi, good to have you along, mate. The dude, Kiwi, did you see the latest Baldo video? He's got a new friend with an accent, and he told him about how his last friend with an accident flaked out on him. Okay. No, I have not seen that. Yeah, I didn't flake out on him. That's just that's bullshit. But you guys make the judgment call on that. I didn't flake out on him. If he wants to, make things right, he's most welcome. Todd Deneo. These are cool shirts. Good, man. I'm glad you like them. Josh Homan. Yes, neat indeed. Cool. Glad. Yeah, that's all good. Eric Uncaffer. I hope I'm saying that right. Kiwi, have you any experience with the MSD starter save? No, I don't. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, starter save. Not sure what that is, but if you explain it a little more, the penny might drop. Long Island Mopars, how are you, mate? Good to have you in the house. Old timer Ford had a Cobra sticker very similar to that Kev shirt. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, with that. Yes, I know the one you mean. Yeah, with the snake. Yeah, yep. Roy Miller, hey Kiwi, good to have you along, mate. Mark M, when you did the seat mounts in the Mustang, showed your metalwork. Yeah, that's kind of the stuff that I enjoy more, making just making something work that's not wasn't quite designed that way, making it better, or making something from scratch. That's as I say, that's what floats my boat. Peter Dorflinger, hello. They look fantastic. Oh, I'm glad you like them. We might bring a few over on the plane with us. So the Kiwi viewers, I'm going to bring like a suitcase full of these, and hopefully that way we can save you guys a bunch of shipping if we actually carry them over on the plane. I mean, it's just good timing. Carry them over on the plane, and we can post them from within New Zealand, and that'll save the Kiwi you guys, a bunch of money, because it's not cheap to mail shit from here to Kiwi land. Stray bullet. Kiwi doesn't look like he would wear an extra large shirt. I got him home and I pulled him on, and the large was just a little tight, if I was a bit younger and had 6-pack abs, then I might be all about it. But yeah, no, No six-pack ads, and I'm not that young. So yeah. Um, Alan Trimble, I saw that and was annoyed as fuck. Yeah, I agree. Ruck, what have we got? Ruckwarts one. Ruckwarts one. Okay. Hey Kiwi, my first live. Well, welcome along. I hope you enjoy it. We'll try and have some fun tonight. What's in the tumbler tonight? I just have got some Jack Daniel's apple bourbon, which is a little sweeter than your typical bourbon, but it's very drinkable. You kind of got to pace yourself a little bit because it goes down almost a little too easy. Eric Uncaffer, MSD starter saver retards timing during cranking the engine. Okay. Mate, I'm really not. I wasn't aware of that, but I mean, yeah, it's not a bad idea. Especially if you've got a high compression engine, and a lot of these, more high performance engine, they'll have a locked out distributor where they've just got full advance, like 34 degrees, like all the time, because they don't, that's a little bit more of a race car mentality. But when you have a locked out distributor like that, you don't have to worry about all that variables in the timing. So some guys like to do that setup, but it does make them a bit hard to start, to crank, because they'll want to, they're firing pretty early and they'll want to push back. So that MSD starter saver sounds like a good idea. That would take care of it in a more controlled way than vacuum advance and mechanical advance and all that kind of stuff. It's actually doing it electronically. So I like the idea. It sounds like a good idea. The Walls, good job on the channel, Kiwi. What are the odds of a live engine build? Ooh, probably not high. Yes, I can build an engine. It's not something I do very often. So I don't know. Maybe maybe we make an exception for large Marge's engine when I finally decide, if I ever decide, to do the 392 Hemi or the Stroker Poly. So I know most of you guys want me to do the Stroker Poly, but there's a little part of me in the back of the head here that's going, put a Hemi in it. So yeah, I've got that left and right brain have got to come to an agreement and decide. Right. What have we got? Rockwarts. I don't have time in the evenings anymore. I miss all the lives. Oh, well, that's a shame, though. I mean, you can watch them delayed, but I guess it's not quite the same, is it? But hey, glad you're here tonight. So, it's all good, man. Fat leg man. Any ski biddy toilet fans in here? I have no idea what that is. None at all. So you'll have to enlighten us all. Old timer, I love the JD Apple. Yeah, me too, man. I do like a really good high end bourbon when the mood takes me, but this is kind of becoming my Wednesday night favorite, this JD's Apple. So it's just quite easy to kind of have a sip on. What have we got here? Ruckwarts. For your information, Ruckwarts is backwards in German. Okay. There you go. Do you ever drink on the job? No, mate, I don't. Not for any holier than thou reasons. I mean, we might have a beer after work, something like that. Finish at 4:30 and have a beer, something like that, but not during the day. I mean, like power tools and welders and car hoists, and that doesn't mix particularly well with alcohol. So yeah, and if I start too early, I'll be asleep by 3 o'clock. Which is not good for productivity. Stray bullet. My 460 Ford could use one of those, Eric. Okay. Not sure what that's referring to, but it's okay. Todd Daneo, Tony seems to change friends faster than most people change underwear. Yeah, there's some yeah. This is true. They do. Dr. Art will be next one under the bus, along with Lamb Chop, Moparel, Stallboy, Kiwi. Yeah. The list goes on, but yeah. Granddad's Junk. G'day, Todd, brother. We all have funny quirks that annoys people at times, don't we? Yes, this is very true. Stray Bullet. What about Jamie from Dead Dog's Garage? Yep. Stray Bullet, the starter saver Kiwi. Yeah. Chris Freemus, good evening. Good to have you in the house, buddy. How you doing? 6th Street Garage. Howdy, Kiwi. Do you like Maker's Mark? I do like Maker's Mark. Yeah, that's one of. I got a few bottles of that sitting up on the shelf. It's a good drop. Maker's Mark is nice. Yeah. Mark Gendron. Hey, Kiwi. What's your favourite Mustang body style and year? I would have to say the '69 Fastback. By a slim margin. 69 Fastback, 66 Fastback, 67 Fastback, in about that order. And really, probably the only reason 67 is kind of third is because there's just so many darn Eleanors around. And I'm not a fan of the Eleanor clones at all. Fleetwood, I'm out on his channel. The last little comment was my last straw. Okay. Yeah. I mean, Tony's Tony. He's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing, and that's it. I don't want to get into a slanging, match with him at all, or I don't watch his videos anymore. And he's just doing his thing. I'm doing mine. Stephen Milne, what's next for Large Marge? You're keeping going with the poly dual quad intake? Yeah, look, probably is really the bottom line. Certainly that's been the theme of what most people want to see, and there's a little part of me wants to keep that. I always feel like the engine's the heart of the car, and that engine kind of did the impossible in driving us 2,000 miles back, from San Diego. So, like, to throw it out on the scrap pile would just seem not a fitting end, and like if I take it out, that's ultimately what's going to happen to it. No, it's not like someone else is going to pick up that engine and go, ooh, a Poly 318. They're not hard to find. They're not special. So yeah, if that engine comes out, it's probably getting melted down and turned into a Tesla body or something, which would just be heinous. Chris Freemas is doing well. I see you have your winter hat on. Yes, my head's getting very hot, but I'm wearing this so you guys can see it. See? Order one. I can't even remember how much these are going to be, but I'll have that up on the Shopify, when you go to my YouTube kind of homepage. It should be there in the next couple of days. You can start ordering it. If you want to, I think the beanies are going to be about $20. Give or take. Don't quote me on that, because I wasn't really expecting to get the stuff today, but it showed up, so I'm all about it. Right, let's just. I think I've skipped a couple. What's next for Large Marge? Yeah, Large Marge. We kind of play a bit of catch up. This company managed to save my SD card, where I had a complete video on there of Marge doing some floor pan work. So really, and that just shows me doing one side underneath the driver's feet. So I've got to do the other side, and I've got to do some work in the back. So I've got to get the floor pans finished, and then it's going to be a little bit of interior work, like getting some carpets, some soundproofing, that sort of stuff in to make the old girl a bit more pleasant to drive. And trust me, in the wintertime, when that ice cold wind was blowing up through the big holes in the floor, it was a bit chilly and not that pleasant. So yeah, and we're working on trying to get it more pleasant. Stray bullet, my old 460 goes through starters like Tony goes through sidekicks. Oh, Tony's getting beat up on tonight. Oh well, such is life. Ruckwarts, personally, oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. Personally, I think Tony is intriguing, entertaining. I'm guessing you possibly meant, but he doesn't seem to play well with others. I saw the relationship ending moment, and Kiwi took the high road, and in my respect. Well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, Tony's Tony. I mean, he's got a lot of followers. Gosh, he's got a lot of followers, and he has a lot of knowledge, but he's a little polarizing, But big personalities, tend to be a bit like that. I'm a bit more laid back. I'm open to other people's opinions. I'm open to other people knowing more than me about stuff. I don't claim to know everything. The people that do are some of the most dangerous people out there, in my opinion. So what I do know, I know, and I'll say I know it, and you can be, you can kind of put good money on that if I'm telling you that this is how it is, then you can be pretty darn sure that is how it is. Chris Freemesser +1 on Dead Dodge Garage. Yeah, that's a good channel. He's a good dude. I don't know what happened there, but it's not hard to guess. Old timer F7. I detest the Eleanor clones. Ruined a beautiful car. Yeah, it's not a body kit, a design that really helps. The 67. The 67 is a very classic shape, and you've got to be very careful customizing them. It's a tough call. You take a very bland, like the 49, Mercury. Very, very popular for customize. And that, when you look at a regular stock 49 Mercury, they're quite plain. There's nothing really good, decent looking car, but nothing really outstanding. But that lends itself to all sorts of modifications. But you take a car like the 67 Mustang, which is just a really good shape, style out of the box, makes it a lot tougher to improve on, and people will still try, and unfortunately they miss a little. But Fat League Man, diddly squat makes my butt feel good. Okay, good to know. I'm not really sure what you're talking about there, but okay, I will believe you. Ruckwarts, take the high road and stand proud. Yep, yeah, exactly. Todd Deneo, stray bullet, then you have something wrong with your 460. That's possible. I'm not sure what would be wrong, but yeah. What would be wrong with it? Yeah, it could be. It could be a lot to do with ignition timing, compression. It's a lot of motor to turn over. It's a big motor. I've got a stray bullet. Are you using just stock replacement starter motors, or have you gone for like a high torque starter? Because that could be like the necessary step up. Yeah. Robbie Autry, good evening, Kiwi. You are doing a great job on Swiss cheese, fitting all those body parts. Yeah, that was a little bit of a test of patience, getting all those inner fenders on and getting them straight and level, and there was so many directions to measure from. It was, you kind of had to pay attention. Which is good, maybe use the brain a little bit again, but yeah, it's not for the completely inexperienced, I'd have to say. I know it was a how-to video, but if you're going to do it, you need to be, it needs to be not your first bodywork project, put it that way. Sixth Street Garage. I like Maker's Mark 2. I don't drink any more because I do very stupid things when I drink. I have been known to do that. It's been a few years. I've kind of a little bit more aware of my limitations. But as a younger man, yeah, did a few dumb things, But I think we've all got those stories. Yeah. Andy Nickel, how you doing, buddy? What's the buzz tonight? Well, I mean, what the buzz tonight is merchandise. See, Super Kev shirts coming to you. Please order them. Kiwi Classics and Customs beanies. Now we can do caps if you guys prefer caps. I just got a few of these done, seeing as we're heading into winter. And of course, over my shoulder here, we've got the Large Marge. Large Marge sent me t-shirts and that's on the back. There's a Kiwi Classics and Customs logo with the warrior head on the front. So that's a pretty cool shirt, I think. So yeah, that's the buzz tonight, man. Steve Milne, yeah, nah. Yeah, nah. You got to be a Kiwi saying, yeah, nah. Best plan, 100, she's been good to you. Yeah, exactly. I mean, not many people believed we could actually, make it back from San Diego. And, there was definitely, some room for doubt in there, concern. Hang on, I shot down the page there. All right. Ruckwarts. It took some guts to drive back from California. Yeah, it did, and Steve, he was instrumental in that, the decision to make that drive, because he's a good dude. I'm happy to sit in the car with him for 3 days, like he's just a good guy. And he's smart, like he has good problem solving skills. So I really felt that, short of something catastrophic going wrong, and I did think the transmission was gonna, stop us, but we managed to get it going again. And Steve's got a real never say die attitude. Like he doesn't really ever, it seems too much for him. He's like, well, we'll just do this, like he's very upbeat. So, he was the perfect guy, candidate to sort of come along on that road trip. It was very cool. Thomas Grau, I wouldn't mind seeing more Eleanor clones if they were cloning more of the cars from the original movie. Yeah, well, that's a whole different, body shape, isn't it? The original one was like the 72-3 Mustang, wasn't it? Dude, how much would you charge Taylor Swift for an oil change? I mean, it's easy to say, I wouldn't charge her anything, but she got shitloads of money. Like, she can pay. She can pay like anyone else. Like, but I'm guessing she doesn't. Well, she might. You never know, do you? I was going to say I guess she wouldn't have a classic car, but she might. But I mean, it depends how country she really is, I guess. Granddad's Junk. Jamie is a great guy. Never runs anyone down, and his funny moped. Joe is also a great channel. He does very good engine work. There you go. Stray Bullet. It runs great, Todd. It just has slightly more compression than it came with stock. There you go. Yeah, I would. Instead of as I asked, you're just putting stock starter motors in it, or have you got one of these high torque ones? I know I've got a fairly high dollar high torque one in the Mustang, my Mustang, with the stroked out 460 in it, the 557. So that that does take a bit of cranking over, but yeah, maybe something like that would help the starter motor situation. What's on it to be? That would be revolt. Oh, very clever. I see what you did there. Revolting for Large Marge to become a Tesla. Yeah, that'd be terrible, wouldn't it? Chris Freemesser, Andy Nickel, not much. How's things with you? Okay, you guys are chatting. It's all good. Old cars and music. Would rather see more Bullet clones than I would Eleanor. That got old really quick. Yeah, the Bullet. I mean, well, the Bullet was pretty stock, wasn't it? I mean, the only really unique thing about the Bullet Mustang was, it was a 390 and it was dark green, or forest green, I think they called it. But that fits the description of quite a lot of cars. But it was definitely a classic. Definitely a classic. Steve Mill, nothing kills starters worse than heat soak. 460, man. Yeah, heat soak is hard on them, for sure. I mean, another important thing too, on if you've got, if it's doing hard work, with high compression stuff like that, really good power cables supply, so that the starter motor can pull all the amps it needs and it's not struggling for power. So yeah, nice, like a 0 gauge battery cable, and good grounds, really good grounds. There were a couple of two videos back now was about grounds, and I'll always labour that point. Good grounds, big, engine to chassis, like a big battery cable size ground. So yeah. Sixth Street Garage. When I saw your thumbnail, I thought it was for a gangster rap video. Yeah, that's me. Like I look okay. I look like a rapper. Good lord, that doesn't say a lot for rappers, does it? But that's funny. You almost made me choke on my bourbon then, which that's a bad thing. Chris Freeman, there's too many Chris's in the chat. There you go. The dude, if Tony's channel were to fail and he was looking for work, would you hire him at the shop? Okay. No. Short answer, no. And more than anything, I don't. Tony hasn't worked for anyone in many decades, and that doesn't, and honestly, I'd be the same if I had to work for someone else now. That would be kind of tough. So yeah, people that have worked for themselves for decades, don't always make the best staff. That's been my experience. They get a bit, and I include myself in this statement. They get a bit set in their ways. They like to do it the way they want to do it. It can be a little bit hard to kind of let go. And if the foreman says, I need you to do X, Y, Z, and I need it in that order, and I need it that way, sometimes it can be a little bit tough to go, well, I think you're wrong, but I'm just going to do it the way you want me to. So yeah, that can be a little challenging. Ruckwarts 1, Bullet clones would be awesome. Yeah, well, all you got to do is just, get a 67 fastback and paint it dark green. There's not a lot to cloning them, in all honesty. Robbie Autry, do you have the Coyote for Swiss cheese yet? Love all your work that you've done on it so far. The customer has got the motor. I haven't seen it as yet. We've still got way too much to do before we need to start swinging an engine into the hole. But in saying that, yeah, he has got it. It's not a brand new, like Casper's getting a brand spanking new crate motor from Ford. Swiss cheese is getting, I think, like it was out of about a 5-year-old Mustang. If memory serves me right, that's about that vintage. It was like, like a 2019, 18 lift out, low mileage. Yeah, what's honoured to be, I think what Ford did with the California Special was perfect. Striking good looks on a coupe with some Shelby bits. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah. Yep. Shot down the page again there. Oh, yeah. Now, Mark M. Jamie at DDG has had a couple of my cars on his channel. Oh, nice. Good for you. Stray Bullet, the headers don't help any. The dragging starter hot starts are annoying though. Right. Yep. Straight Bullet, stock replacement. I'm cheap. Yeah. Well, I mean, I was lucky at that because when I was putting my Mustang together, we were doing it for SEMA. So we got a budget from Summit, and so really I got a nice high dollar starter motor, but it didn't cost me anything. So it's a lot easier to kind of put it in your shopping cart when you've got a big credit sat in there. So I was very lucky like that. So yeah, but it is a terrible pain in the butt to be stranded, and not being able to start. Your car, like it's if nothing else, it's embarrassing, especially if it's a little bit nice and it might get a little bit of attention, and here you are trying to crank it and it won't start. So yeah, that's always a little humiliating. Yeah. Stephen Milne, I'd wrap headers at starter in my old age. Definitely pays. Yeah, my headers are all wrapped. It's not the prettiest thing, but it helps. It really does. J. Russell French, do you use a trammel rod, Kiwi? Actually, no, I don't. No, I'm just my trusty tape measure, man. Yeah, it's one of those tools I probably should have, and I just had them back in New Zealand, but I haven't dropped the money for one here. Yeah. Todd Deneo, I love Ford 429, 460, and I've had several. I plan on putting a 500 horsepower 460 in my 40 Ford Tudor Deluxe with a Ford top loader 4-speed. Man, that'll be cool. That'll be very cool. Did you see, Todd? Did you see the 40 Ford Coupe that I had on the show, the channel? How long ago? 3-4 months back, 6 months ago, maybe. A beautiful, beautiful black one with a Chevy engine in it, which upset a few people, but owner's choice. Yeah, but the 460 in it, that'd be pretty cool. The dude, if I buy a shirt, will you sign it for the dude? Sure, man. Yeah, I don't mind doing that. I have to get myself a silver Sharpie or something, I guess. Well, I've got those at work, but yeah. 6th Street Garage Super Kev, is that Kevin Tetz? No, but I think we're going to have to get him wearing one, aren't we? Kev the Kiwi. That's my little sidekick that you'll see in a few of the videos. He's this big. I actually left him at work tonight. But yeah, you'll see him in a few of the videos, and he just got, because he's a Kiwi, so he got nicknamed Kiwi Kev. So, and that spawned Super Kev. But no, I'll definitely have to get Kevin wearing one of these. I think that fits pretty well, doesn't it? Andy Nicol, I might need a new chalk. We got 8 inches of snow this week, so winter's well set in. Wow, yes. You need a beanie, mate. That's what you need, is a beanie. Keep you warm. J. Russell Fitch. Have you fixed that damn speedo yet? No, mate, I haven't. It only ever makes a noise up at interstate speed, and I rarely ever get much out on the interstate. So I've kind of forgotten all about it because it doesn't do it around town, which is weird. Most of the time I'm driving it. So yeah, not the first time you've asked. I know that. But yeah, that's on the list of things to do. We're going to have to pull the instrument cluster out of it. I think we'll have to pull the instrument cluster out because I've got to get the heater working on it. We have no heater at the moment. And yet, heading into winter, it'd be nice to have a little bit of warmth, a little bit of defrost, that kind of thing. But it's all vacuum controls on buttons. You've got the push button auto down the left-hand side, and then you've got push button heater controls down the right-hand side of the instrument cluster. And I've got to figure out how that works. What I do know is the vacuum lines that go to it are all chewed up. You can see the little rat teeth marks in it. So I really don't know which hose goes where. I'll figure it out. Right, what do we got here? Straight bullet. I love the 385 series engines. I want to build a Godzilla engine before I die. Yeah, that Godzilla. Yeah, I'd like to have a little dabble with one of those. They look pretty cool. Granddad's junk, the 4-speed top-loaded gearbox fetch good money and are still popular. Yeah, they are. There's a definite market for those. Yeah, they're not super rare anymore because a lot of there's been a lot of 5 and 6-speed conversions. But yeah, they're out there. Okay, how do you say that? Hansbur, Hanzbr. Any opinion on Strombergs versus SUs? Mate, no, not really. I don't know enough about them to kind of to say one's better than the other. Part of me wants to say the Strombergs, but honestly, I'm not really sure why. Not really sure why, but yeah. Long Island moped. Taylor Swift probably drives an EV anyway. Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, hard to know. She could also be driving a Lambo too. She's that kind of girl. Or at least that's the way she comes across to me. She's certainly, quite welcome to come and park at my shop and visit. Whether it's in an EV or a Lambo, I don't, or a '57 Chevy, I don't care. Steve Milne, I have an earth across the rag joint on the column too. Had issues in the past with indicator switch. Yes, rag joints will sometimes isolate a bunch of your electrics. Yeah, you do need that little ground strap across the rag joint. Yeah, like that's caught a lot of people out over the years. A lot of people out. Straight bullet. I'm completely unemployable also. Just get a modern bullet. Well, yeah. Oh, where did it all go? Todd Deneo, Kiwi, how did you end up doing custom work on cars? How did you end up in America? Right, well, probably, how did I start doing that? That's a good question. Yeah, just from panel shops, and then I can remember in my late teens, like messing around with a buddy of mine's Ford Popular, and like we re-arched all the rear wheel arches to fit the bigger wheels and stuff like that, and figuring out how to do that, and like that's just stuff I've always enjoyed, and it came like it how can I say it? Like it came to me quite easily. Like I was just able to kind of envisage or have a vision of how I wanted it to look, and I was able to make it happen. So yeah, and then a few people said, "Hey, that was cool. Can you do this for me, or can you do that for me?" And it's like, "Yeah, I'll give it a crack." And 9 times out of 10, I could pull it off. So really, whatever they could dream up, I was, and I'm sure if I could go back and look at some of my work from teens, early 20s, it probably wasn't as good as I remember it being. But you live and learn, and you get better. And as for ending up in America, well, that was they had a green. I don't believe they do it anymore, but America had a green card lottery where they would give out 3,000 visas a year to different countries around the world, and you just put your name in like buying a lottery ticket, and if your number came up, that gave you the right to apply for a green card. So yeah, number came up, applied for the green card, got it. Cost a lot of money. There was myself, the wife, and 2 kids came over. and that was in 2008. So the whole process started in 2007. And back then, that exercise of getting green cards was $10,000, round figures, to come here legally. Part of me wanted to come here illegally because that was kind of free, but yeah, I'm glad I didn't take that route, and did it correctly. And yeah, it was a lot of money. That's probably 20,000 in today's terms. So it's not hard to see why people sneak across the border when it's made that hard. But we had to go through a lot of hoops to get, even though you win the green card lottery, all that really does is win you the right to apply for one. And then you've got to meet all sorts of criteria. You've got to have a reasonable amount of money to support yourself. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff you have to do. Physicals, if you're suffering from some weird disease, they don't want you. Yeah, it's a little tough. So, yeah, Chris Freemasser, how tough will it be electronic-wise to put a 2019 engine in Swiss cheese? Well, Ford do a there's a name they've got for it, and I can't remember what it is, but it's like a pack. It's like an electronics pack, and that brings it back to pretty much like a plug-and-play sort of setup. In that, positive ground, ignition, full-time power, that kind of thing is like 3 or 4 wires to hook up. Obviously, all the sensors and all that, but that's all part of the engine harness. But yeah, it's a different or a modified ECM, and you plug that in and power it up, and away you go. It's supposed to be that easy, but I mean, keep watching. We'll find out whether it really is that easy or not. I have some niggling doubts as to whether it'll be that easy or not, but time will tell. Time will tell. I haven't put a Coyote in myself. I helped with a Coyote swap on a 69 Mustang up at RTM Productions on Muscle Car TV, and now they used a Holly Terminator system, and I know that was a lot of drama, a lot of conversations with, not for me, but for Tommy Boches, who was really in charge of that. I was helping him do a lot of the ancillaries and accessory stuff like that. But Tommy was trying to get the electrics sorted out. And I know he had a lot of long conversations with Holly and messing about. And again, 3 or 4 years ago, so, like more conversions have been done. Everybody's getting better at it. So I'm hoping it won't be too big a deal. Steve Mill in America, where the cool stuff is. There you go. Yeah, I really wanted to come here and live here. I had for the longest time. Old cars and music. I like the GTCS as well. Yep. I've got to take this off. My head's getting hot. Now I've got bed here. Yeah, that's it. You've got to start buying them now. I've modelled them long enough. Now you've got to actually buy them. Okay. Right, what have we got? Rex Farris, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Yeah. I enjoy Thanksgiving. It's a good time. Good, not too over commercialized like Christmas is. Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy Thanksgiving. Hansburg, if I'm saying that right. I'm not sure how you want me to pronounce that, but do you have a 50+ pound toolbox in the trunk of your car? No, mate. I have a very very meager set of tools in the car. I'd live 20 minutes from the shop, so yeah. If I'm going on a trip, then definitely throw a bit more in there, but you're not 50 pounds. Really, if you're going on a decent drive and you're expecting to break down, possibly shouldn't be doing it. Says the man who drove from San Diego, 2,000 miles, but that was all planned out. We did have at least 50 pounds of tools and spares and all sorts of stuff, and we knew it was highly likely it was going to break down. So yeah, that's a little bit different. Rick Farris, any advice on installing new fuel lines? I do quite like steel, like hard lines. A little bit harder to install because you've got to get them bent right and that sort of thing. But the rubber, like the braided rubber lines that a lot of people use, the ethanol in the fuel, ethanol in the fuel is not kind to them. The what is it, PPTF lines, like that Teflon lined fuel line is really the way to go if you're going to use like a flexible fuel line. It's just quite a bit more expensive, and the fittings are quite a bit more expensive. But that's where the hard lines are not a bad thing. A 3/8 hard line will supply enough fuel for most engines, unless you've got a lot of horsepower. And for a lot of our cars that we're working on these days, you can buy them pre-bent, and it's not a bad option at all. But yeah, so it depends a little bit what you're installing, like Rex, if it's hard lines or soft lines. If it's soft lines, plenty of anchors, because it does tend to sag. You'll put it up there on the chassis, and you'll have, fasteners 8 inches apart, and it looks good. And then 6 months later, some heat cycles, hot days, it's doing this, like it's sagging around the place. So that it always put in more anchors or attachments than what you think you'll need, because you'll end up going back and adding more later. So just do it at the front end. What's Honda to be? Sorry, couldn't resist. Recycling large Marge to a Tesla would be an ungrounded decision with no positive outlook and met with much resistance. Oh, dear me. Okay. Well thought out. Well said. Yes, I agree with all of that. Todd Denio. Kiwi, I missed the episode with the 40 Ford Coupe. Mate, it's there. Just go back and look at my videos. You'll see it. It's there. It was this year. Absolutely, it was this year. And I think kind of around the 6 months ago mark. So, yeah, have a look for that. Gorgeous, gorgeous car. And the video probably doesn't really do it justice. Actually, I had a guy ring me up off that video, and he rang me. He wanted to buy that car like so bad, and he wanted the owner's number, which I couldn't give to him. Like, I knew the owner's number. He's a good friend of mine, and I said, "Hey, can I give this guy your number?" And he's like, "No, I don't want to sell the car. It's not for sale." And the guy kept ringing me like 2 times a week for weeks, like, offer this guy this, offer him that much. How much does he want? And it just went on and on. And yeah, he wanted it real bad. But Doug didn't want to sell it, and fair enough. He's an older guy. He doesn't need the money. He loves the car. He's got a huge amount of history with it. And yeah, he didn't want to sell it. Eventually, he said to him, "Well, tell him at 200K, he'd think about it." Which I know is like, that's a crazy amount of money. And I mean, he was really just trying to say, look, if you want a price, this is what it's going to take. And he was he didn't think that was a realistic price, or expect the guy to say yes. And at that point, the guy stopped ringing me. So yeah, but it's that nice a car. So yeah, look it up. The short version of that story, go and find the video. It's a gorgeous car. Chris Freemasser, Kev can also be seen on at least 3 of the FBI wanted posters at the post office. Well, this is true. Yes. Yeah, what else have we got here? Well, the reason Kev's not here tonight is that he was a bit he was very sour. He felt like the picture made him look fat. So, like he's all grumpy. So he didn't want to come and join us tonight. So, yeah. What's on it to be? Old cars and music. If I was able to find a nice Mustang and it was a 67 coupe, I would have to clone it to a CS specs. Beautiful cars. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, I'd go along with that. Dude. I'm just sad knowing I could never wear the merch as well as you. Oh, really? Okay. I'm sure you would, mate. I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would. Andy Nickel, that beanie is called a toque. A toque. A toque up here. I've never heard it called that before. A toque. Huh. Okay, you learn something every day. Jay Weiss, hi Kiwi, love your work, sir. Well, thanks, man. Thanks, I appreciate that, and welcome into the room. The dude, I think you're out of Taylor's league, Kiwi. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah. No, not. I mean, yeah. I was never anywhere near it, let alone out of it. To even be out of it. So yeah, I agree completely, sir. J. Russell Finch, I don't mean to give you grief about the Speedo. It was just so annoying and a big part of the journey home. You said I've got to do something straight away. Now I'm, oh gosh, scroll down too far. Hang on. I lost you there halfway through reading it. Wow, I've got a little bit far behind. There we go. You said I've got to do something straight away. Now I'm engaged and I need that video. Fair enough. Okay. All right. Well, maybe that's a good subject for a video. We'll finally cure the Marge's. What would you call it? It's not more. It was more than just a noise, wasn't it? I think it was her protesting about having to go so far. Chris Freemesser, the dude. You never know. Some girls really dig those accents. Yeah. That's true. It's true. My son, who's now 26, he put that as he hit college. He put that his accent to good use from all accounts. And good on him. Paul Bruno, good to see you. Good to have you here, mate. The dude, Chris, notice I said he is out of Taylor's league. Oh, I didn't read that. Oh, mate, I thought you said she's out of my league. Okay. No, out of Taylor. Yeah, okay. Long Island Mopars. Any experience with one-wire alternators? I was gifted one that came out of a running car but can't excite the field to energize it. Well, you shouldn't have to excite the field. A one-wire alternator is literally that. It just puts out power out the one wire. It doesn't need exciting. I mean that well, might be talking out of turn there. I mean that the one wire going to it is typically a fairly heavy cable, which is live full time. That's straight from the alternator to the battery. But yeah, it doesn't need an ignition, like a feed from the ignition to excite it. If it does, it's not really a one-wire alternator. At least that's my understanding of it. That's all I've ever had to do. I'm a big fan of them. Like, to me, it's just super simple. You put a nice big, heavy gauge cable to it, enough that'll cope with the amps they put out, and away you go. Jay Weiss, Englishman in New York, Kiwi in Tennessee. 2008, wow, and no American accent. Well, no, I don't think I do have an American accent, but my Kiwi accent has changed. It's definitely mellowed, and I've obviously picked up a lot more of the American lingo as far as car stuff goes. Bonnets and hoods and boots and trunks and all that sort of stuff. But But when I first got here, a lot of people had a lot of trouble understanding what I was saying, and you'd be talking to someone, and you'd kind of see them glaze over, like their eyes, and you could tell they were like 3 or 4 or 6 words back, trying to figure out what I said, and not even like taking in what I was saying, 6 words later. So you had to slow down and like not talk so fast. But even that presented some issues, because if you talk too slow, you start to sound like you're being a bit condescending. Know what I mean? So you can't talk so slow that you make people feel stupid, but you can't talk so fast as they can't keep up, because you could see them trying to decipher the accent. So I don't have that trouble so much anymore. On the phone, we used to be bad. Like, it was very hard to make yourself understood on the phone. And the other thing that you notice being here for as long as I have now, when I talk to another Kiwi or talk to someone, on the phone back home, it's like, oh, wow, Kiwis really do have an accent, like quite a strong accent. And when you're living with all the other Kiwis, you don't hear that accent. Everyone just sounds normal, like like in America. You've got different accents within America, be it New York and Southern and all that sort of, Minnesota. So you've got a bunch of different accents. So it's a little bit different, but pretty much everyone in New Zealand sounds the same. But now having been here for a while, it's like, oh, wow, do I really sound like that? It's quite funny hearing a New Zealand accent. Strange. Right, what do we got? Captain Desmo, Kiwi, how are you, mate? Good to have you along. Jay Weiss, Mexican spec should have put you in the trunk of one of those imports. Yeah, that would have been a cheaper way to get here, that's for sure. The dude, Kiwi, I could have saved you some money. We could have gotten a green card marriage. Okay, there you go. The dude, you got to come clean. You come across, you're talking like you're a female, but you're called the dude. So, like, what's the go here? What gender do you identify as? And please don't say, a bookcase or something. Hopefully you're not one of those gender strange people. Stray Bullet, we're glad that you did things legally so that you don't get deported. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. No, I'm actually a full-fledged citizen now. I've got an American passport, the whole thing. You cannot get rid of me now. I'm here. So yeah, I mean, Trump might find a way, but he's taking a hard line on immigrants, illegal immigrants. Hopefully he'll leave me alone. But yeah, no, I'm had to go along and sort of little test, do a history test on America, which I crammed for in the car on my way to. I had to drive to Memphis, which is 3 hours away from here. Had to drive to Memphis to sit down and take the test and meet the people and answer a bunch of questions. And so I crammed for that on the way down, and yeah, here I am, an official American citizen. Yeah, Mexican spec probably could have smuggled me in for a bit. Yeah, or less. Captain Desmo, what about the horrible idea of building up a Volvo 240 with a Ford 429? Why is that horrible? It's not a horrible idea. Mate, those are Europe's hot rods. That's the cars they're hot rodding. That's a lot of Volvos get hot rodded over in Europe. And a 429, yeah, hell, yeah. Why not? Beagle Bob, hello everyone. Hello, mate. Good to have you here. The merch looks good. Well, that's awesome. Now, while I think about it, I'm just going to put my email address. So if you guys want to get some pre-orders before I get this Shopify thing up and running, you can just email me with what you want. We can probably just organise paying for it on PayPal or Venmo or something like that, and or Zelle, one of those money ones, and we can get something out to you. Yeah. Oh, did that come up? Hopefully that came up. That's my email address. So I expect to see several hundred emails in the morning from people wanting merchandise, which would be good. I mean, that would mean we'd run out. That's okay. We can always order more. Right. Stray bullet mix. Stray bullet Mexican spec does some coyote work on the side. I get it. That's very clever. Yes. Maybe a Boss 429 Volvo, mate. Wouldn't that be something? That'd be a rapid little Volvo. J. Weiss, large Marge. I prefer the red rocket. Here you go. Have we got? Yeah, there is a good crowd here tonight. Long Island, you're right. Please do hit the like buttons. That does help. Same when you're watching the videos, watch the like. Hit the likes. It does. It helps the algorithm tremendously. So it would be nice to kind of get a few more subscribers and a few more views going. It all helps. Hit the like button. Chris Freemason. Here Mexican Speak does some cougar stuff on the side too. I'll bet he does. Jay Weiss, I like Kiwi over a turkey. Well, you'd be hard pressed to find someone who knows. Like those birds. The Kiwi bird is very heavily protected. You would, anyone ever caught cooking one of those would be serving some proper jail time. It would take a very dim view of that. Stephen Milne here looks fine, mate. Okay, yeah. Well, where it is, it's hidden back in a few spots, but that's old age for you. The dude, Kiwi stream has more ads than any other stream I've watched. Really? Okay. Because when you do the monetization thing, it asks you, whether you want like low, moderate, which is what it recommends, or a lot of ads, and I just click on the moderate. But if you, drop some comments in here, because if you guys, and honestly, you make like on a live, you make honestly $6 or $7 is what you make doing a live. It's you really do it for fun. It's not a money making exercise at all. I think Tony, he has a few more people on his channel when he's doing lives, and he seems to get quite a few super chats. Which boosts up the money for it. But honestly, I make $5 or $6, so I'm quite happy to knock it back to the conservative, they call it, a conservative amount of ads. Because if that takes it from $6, a live to $4, well, I really don't care. But I'd rather you guys enjoy it a bit more. So drops. If you guys are seeing the same thing, someone else mentioned that a couple of weeks ago that we were getting a lot of ads. So, maybe I need to change that, because it's certainly not going to break the bank. Making 50% less money on a live is nothing. Granddad's junk. I hear you getting some stuff here. Can be difficult and expensive. I like poly engines, hard to find here. Oh, really? Okay. I would have thought there'd be a few poly engines around in New Zealand. I had a couple of. I had a 63 Dodge when I was a teenager, or like 18, 19, and a 63 Plymouth. They both had polys in them, and they were right-hand drive, like New Zealand market cars, not private imports. And they did import a few of those new back in the 60s. So I thought there was probably still. I'm sure there's a lot more 308s around, but I thought there was a few polys around, but I guess that was a few years ago. So, Chris Freemasser, the dude, try the Brave website. The Brave web browser, 0 ads. Oh, okay. Captain Desmo, I don't think it's pure genius, more like pure insanity. Well, that's a hot rod, isn't it? Isn't a hot rod meant to be insane? Big engine, little car. Isn't that the whole thing? Like the core formula, for a hot rod. Jay White is a few minutes. Yeah, I'm a few minutes behind the chat. I'm trying to catch up, but Buick Nailhead. Oh, God, what have I done? There we go. More like a few days. It's a bit harsh. Todd Denio. Yeah, okay. Kiwi, my name is pronounced Denio. Okay. We've had this little chat before, and I'd actually forgotten. But yeah, thank you. I'll try and get it right. Jay Weiss, I've sent 10 commandments. He's way behind the live chat. Love you, Kiwi. Slow and steady wins the race. There you go. I'm trying to catch up. We'll have to whiz through. When is part 2 of the electric seat going to drop? I have a set that are in perfect condition and was intrigued as to how they were configured. Awesome so far. Thanks. Mate, I've just been, I don't know whether I'm going to get to them before I head back to New Zealand, which, if I don't, that means it's probably going to be 6 weeks before I get to them, which is a bit of a shame, but I've got a lot of shit to get done before I head to New Zealand on the 10th. So whether I'm going to have time, I don't know. I'm going to try, but yeah, no promises, but I'm sorry. Stephen Milne, that 40 is a nice car. Yes, it is. They've been called a toque since the French fur trade. Okay, didn't know that. 672E Galaxy, hello. How are you doing, mate? Old cars in Munich. Bob and Doug McKenzie used to call them that. 5 golden toques. Okay. Stephen Mill, Marge has earned her right to protest. That's fair too. That's fair enough, yes. Captain Desmo, Aaron Slider's a fast Kiwi. Yes, he was lightning fast. Motorcycle rider from a few decades back now, but yeah, he was a very skilled individual. Stephen Milne, Kiwi accent all day long, bro. There you go. Granddad's junk. I'm from down south. Invercargill accent is very different from up north. We roll the R's. Yeah, you do. And it seems to start like that accent seems to start about 20 minutes north of Invercargill. It was quite funny. At least that's what I remember. Dude, I can be whatever you want me to be. Fair enough. Charlotte Zimmerman, hey mate, toss a few on the Barbie and have a pint. There you go. Toss a few on the Barbie. That's very Australian. Jay Weiss, most Americans wouldn't pass that test. Well, I think you might be right there too. There was questions like how many congressmen are there, and there was some history type questions that were like, a lot of people wouldn't know. A lot of people probably learned it in school, but have long since forgotten, But I had to brush up on that stuff. Andy Nickel, face at Kiwi, hot dogs and apple pie now. Well, this is true. Yes. Had my share of hot dogs since getting here. Yes. Sean, A806, watched a video of Uncle Tony's garage about the road draft tube a year ago or so. Since you're from New Zealand, was the road draft system used over there as well many years ago or not? Yes, it was. Yeah, it was. Absolutely. I think that kind of all happened. They kind of went away from that around the similar time. Yeah. So, there's my email address. So, send your requests in for merchandise, please. I got like quite a few shirts sitting over on the couch over there, ready for new homes. So, Yeah, you guys have been asking for it for probably a year, so it's all good things come to those who wait. Now, just send your orders in, guys. Otherwise, I'm going to be wearing Large Marge t-shirts till I die. Robbie Autry, glad to have you and your family here, Kiwi. Welcome to America. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Captain Desmo, Kiwi is a quintessential American that is doing what the American dream is. Yeah, I mean, really it is. It's kind of living the dream, the American dream. It's what I always wanted to do, come here and build hot rods, and that's exactly what I'm doing, and loving it, and meeting so many new people, so many friends I've made here, and it's pretty awesome. I'm very blessed, shall we say. Ruckwarts, baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet was the commercial. Chevrolet, okay. Well, Chevrolet is, I guess, Ford's much more worldwide, isn't it? Chevrolet is yeah, that's quintessential America. I'll give you that. The dude, how much does the merch cost? The Kev shirts are going to be like 22, and the Marge, which way is it? The Marge shirts are going to be like 26. That's there. The Marge shirts are printed front and back. The Kev shirts, what you see there is what you get. Large Marge is on the back, and then we've got. You guys have seen it. You've all been here. We've got that's on the left chest, and Large Marge on the back. So hit that buy now button. Not that there's actually a buy now button up there yet, but there will be. Have faith. Beanies, I'm not sure the cost of the beanies just yet, but I will let you know. Captain Desmo, hit the like button. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Yeah, I just went too far. Carbide Jones, football, meat pies, kangaroos, and Holden cars. That's Australia, mate. That's Australia. Kangaroos. There's no kangaroos in New Zealand. But it's pretty darn close, yeah. Jay Weiss, mention Uncle Tony to get 10% off Kiwi merch. There you go. You guys are funny. I got stickers coming too, and the stickers are going to be that Kiwi logo, like on the front of the Marge shirt. It's a little sticker about yay big. I think it's 3x4 or something like that inches. So they'll be cool little stickers, and they'll just be a few bucks. It'll be very expensive. Right, where are we up to? Kiwi, does the ice in your delicious American bourbon swirl in the opposite direction while drinking in New Zealand? I don't know. It doesn't stay in the glass long enough to swirl. Like you've got to drink it down quick. So, yeah. Captain Desmo, what's the lowdown on the DeSoto Fire Dome, hot rod mill or grocery getter? The DeSoto Fire Dome was of quite the little engine. I think they were only some of them were under 300 cubic inches. They're just a fairly small engine. They weren't really a high performance engine. But then the Hemi wasn't really high performance until you hit the 426, the original 426. The 392s were a little bit more so. They were making some good horsepower, but those early Hemis were not. Well, not setting the world on fire for horsepower, but they would run on very low grade fuel, and that was apparently the reason why they went to the Hemi head, because the Hemi head could cope with low grade and various grades of fuel back in the 50s, because fuel was very inconsistent back then. You'd fill up one day and gas would be good. You fill up another day, or a different part of town, and the gas would not be as good. The gas today is very, very consistent. Yeah. Charlotte Zimmerman, question: Kiwi down in New Zealand, are the Ford 1600s still used? They're not in any new production cars, as far as I know. I'd say 100% sure they're not in any new cars anymore. But still a popular little engine. They have a Formula Ford racing series, which is like a little baby Indy car or Formula One car, open wheeler car with that 1600 crossflow Ford in them. That's still a very popular class of motorsport in New Zealand. It's quite a cheap way of getting into open wheel cars. Cheap's relative, when you're talking motor racing. But cheap-ish, shall we say? Todd Denier. Oh my God, I'm getting tongue twisted. Todd Denier. 318 Poly's a great engine. Yeah, they are. They are. A little big for the internal size. That 5 litre or 5.2. So they're like a big block with a small capacity. But once we do Marges, it'll be out to around 400 cubic inches. So that'll make you go a bit better. Captain Desmo, pay no attention to me. The dude, have you ever considered doing reaction videos? I'm not even sure what a reaction video is, but so enlighten me. Old cars and music. Godzilla 7.3 and a Volvo 1800 maybe. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like the P1800, the little sports car. That would be pretty cool. Josh Homan, I don't mind ads. Nothing is free. Yeah, honestly, I think with these lives, I think YouTube make more money from the lives than the people hosting them. Like it really is. Just a few under $10, a few to $5, $6. I think the highest number of views I got on one of these, I think I got about $8. Like it's next to nothing, but it's fun. I'm not complaining about the money. It's fun. These evenings are great. The dude, you're the only YouTuber I've ever seen that reads every single comment. Well, it's actually been quite hard to keep up tonight, to be honest. You guys have been commenting a lot, which is good. There's obviously a bunch of you watching, so which is great. Jay Weiss, Kiwi needs to go to Summer Nats in Australia. I went to 2023, very cool place. That is a show I'd like to go to. Yeah, that's a big deal. That is a big event. Burnout competitions like you've never seen before. The Aussies will, when they do a burnout, holy moly, they do a burnout. They do burnouts that John Force would be impressed with. It's pretty crazy. What's on it to be? I like learning new things about the toque. I call it a toque. Converts your head from cold to warm. Oh yeah. Oh, the humor's good tonight. We've got a good roll going. Long Island Mopars. Never worked on a 318 Poly, but I have a Bendix Stromberg 2-barrel carb that came on them. That's right. Yes, they did. Marge just got a Stromberg carb. Now that you say that, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah. But Stromberg also made a side draft carburetor that was very similar to the SU. Like it's a British Stromberg, I think. Side draft carburetor with a little weird contraption that goes up and down to open to help control the airflow in conjunction with the throttle butterfly. Quite very different to what you see on anything American typically here. Volfly clings to ceiling. Good to have you along, Volfly. Captain Desmo, 13 strips representing the 13 original colonies. Okay, I'm not. Okay, I think I missed something there. Volfly, well, look who's flown into the chat. Been quite a while. Yeah, it has been a while since we've seen Volfly. Where you been, mate? What you been doing? Running a bit late. He's running a bit late tonight. Fair enough. Oh, well, you're here. That's the main thing. Well, we got half an hour left. So that's all good. Sean A 806. Think the reason. Oh, where's that gone? It just shot up the page. Totonayo Fido was a 331, if I remember right, or was it a 241? I think it could have been both. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was a 241. But yeah, that early 50s Hemis, my knowledge is not strong on that one. Yeah, where do we get up to? Wow, I am well behind. Sean AO, so that's where I was up to. I think the reason why the PVC valve became mandatory was the government was probably trying to reduce maintenance costs on top of reducing. Well, it was more a smog thing. The PCB was about, smog control, smog, issues. Because like venting all that stuff to the atmosphere was seen as being very dirty and not healthy. So the PCV was all about smog management. Jay Weiss, Kiwi should build hot dogs, not hot rods. No, I think no. I think my skills are more suited to hot rods. Barry Cooter, we got wallabies. Well, we do have wallabies, Barry. Yeah, you're right. We do have wallabies. Chris Freemesser, definitely need a shirt and some stickers. Well, there you go. Well, the stickers I think are going to be next week now. For some reason, I got stickers and business cards made because I needed more business cards. And for whatever reason, they weren't ready, but the shirts were. So, it's all good. But yeah, the stickers should be next week. And as I think I said, the sticker is going to be, where's it go? It's going to be that logo. If I can do this the right way. It's all mirror image. The Kiwi Classics and Customs with the Warrior logo on an oval shaped sticker. So that'll be quite cool. Yeah, good. Just a little bit of artwork for your toolbox or your whatever. Yeah. Now. So yeah, email me, Chris, and I will tell me what you want, and we'll make it happen. Sean A806, reason why cars from the 50s and early 60s get the reputation for not lasting 100,000 miles was because of the road draft system. You were lucky to get 50,000, 75, 100,000 miles out of one. You think that was the road draft system? Okay. I just thought it was what they were making stuff out of, like what the rings were made of and machining clearances and stuff like that. The engines nowadays certainly last a lot longer. But the design is essentially the same, but they've improved so many things. So they'd never put that mileage down to the road draft tube, but that's interesting. What's on it to be? Switch the kangaroo to Vegemite sandwich. There you go. Don't care too well, Kiwi. At least no shameless plugs on the channel. Well, you see, in between the ads that YouTube put in, I've got to put in my ads. I mean, fair's fair. Why should they get more ads than me? Dear. I do hope you guys buy this stuff because I've ordered a bunch of them. So time will tell. Volfly eyes the Vegemite packet suspiciously with compound eyes. Yeah, I'm not a Vegemite fan or a Marmite fan, even though I'm a Kiwi, and that's very Kiwi. No, it's not something I've ever liked or enjoyed. My kids loved it. My wife loves it, but no, I'm the odd one out in this house. I do not like it. Perry Cooter. Hi, Chris. Fancy meeting you here. You're probably talking to Chris Freemeser, I'm guessing. Yeah, Kiwi needs to check out Summer Nationals. Yep, I do. Hang on. What's happening? We're getting some repeats here. J. Russell Finch, will you take some T-shirts to New Zealand with you? Might sell more there without postage from the US. Yes, I did mention that earlier. And that's the plan. Is I'm going to take a suitcase full of shirts or however many I think we're going to need, and mail them from within New Zealand because that will save a bunch. Because it's tough enough with the New Zealand dollar being worth 60 cents. That makes the shirt quite a bit more expensive straight off. And then to actually mailing stuff from here to New Zealand is expensive. So, I'm going to take as many as I can and, get them out there. That's the plan. The dude, were you a farmer back in New Zealand? No, mate, no, never been a farmer, never had, never wanted to be. No, mate, I don't even like mowing the lawns, let alone, pay someone to mow them. I don't, me in the garden, like they look pretty from a distance, but you won't. I very rarely ever catch me in the garden. Just not my thing, if you could weld some plants together, then that would entice me. But no, waiting for shit to grow just takes too long. That's my story anyway. Volfly, the new transmissions in Ford are weird. The shift linkage is used only for park. Even has an actuator to move the still present cable. The gears are shifted by solenoids alone. Yeah, that's it's all electronically controlled now. A lot of transmissions are like that now. It's all electronic. It's kind of easy, really. Electrics are cheap and mechanicals kind of are not. That's kind of the way of the world these days. Robbie Autry, is the Holden just a Chevy rebadged in New Zealand, Kiwi? No, it's not. No, it's not. The Holden is General Motors. Yep, but it's General Motors Australia, and they did put some Chevy engines in Holdens for a while. Actually, they kind of spread the love around a little bit. They put Nissan engines in Holdens for a while. They had that Oldsmobile V6 in the Holdens for a little while. They played around with different engines, but the cars were definitely Australian-made cars. Captain Desmo, Kiwi, the only reason why I think a two-door European sedan would be a great idea is because as a kid I watched the European touring car series, real door slammers. Yeah, the European touring car scene is awesome. Did you guys notice this? Nobody mentioned that. I guess that's because you've all been drooling over the merchandise. But over to my right here, that is an old school German touring car. That is a Mercedes, like a 90s, I think it was. Mercedes touring car from the German touring car series. They were very trick machines. Space framed, like fully removable fronts on them. They weren't. Yeah, they had doors that opened, but they weren't technically a door slammer. They were a completely fabricated fiberglass, carbon fiber, bodywork. Everything was still is, very. It's based on a production car, but loosely, shall we say. End of time. Almost got my car done just in time to put it away for winter. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. Oh, there'll be a few good days. You'll be able to sneak it out, mate. You'll be able to sneak it out. The dude, I just hope when you have 50k plus viewers on here, you don't forget about us OG viewers, mate. I will certainly no. I won't. It's been a slow climb, and it's certainly we passed 25,000 subscribers a little while back, and it's a slow, steady kind of climb. But I'm pretty happy with that, and I certainly, the regulars are awesome. You guys that come in like week in, week out. It's very, it's quite humbling that you guys want to keep tuning in and listening to me ramble on for a couple of hours. That is not lost on me. Yeah, where are we up to? Chris Freemess saying to Vol, yeah, I get more and more uneasy with new cars the more they make mechanical stuff electrical. Yeah, well, that's what's killing cars these days. You find most the cars that are in the the dismantling yards, the pick aparts or whatever, are there due to electrical issues. PCMs, ECM, BCMs, failing that cost thousands of dollars to replace, and that's what's. The motors last such a long time now. The transmissions last such a long time now, but the electronics fail on these 10, 15-year-old cars, and put them out to pasture. It's not worth. They're not worth a lot of money, and the electronics are expensive, and not something that you can do. Back when you had a 67 Camaro and the engine failed, you or one of your mates or one of your mates knew someone that could throw an engine in over a weekend from the junkyard and keep the thing going. Now, you're lucky. Not many people really have their head around this electronics. That new little not new, but 06 GMC Canyon that I bought, I had to get Dr. Art to come and help me on that because the little passkey electronics on it just decided it was not going to start. It had been starting and running and going fine, and then it decided, no, I'm not, I'm in a bad mood or something, and it just wouldn't start. And it was this security passkey system. And I'm like, I don't know how to fix this. It's not in my wheelhouse. And I had to get a doc. He was cool. He was really good about it. He come over, figured it out. We deleted that passkey system, so that you still need a key to start it, but you can just use a regular key. You don't need like one of the key fob type things. So we bypassed that security part of the key. So just won't do it again. Those Colorados and Canyons are really prone for it, apparently. Volfly, yep, just frustratingly crazy. Yeah, it is a little bit. Todd Denier, the threading, Polly, where's he gone? He just shot up the page. Damn it. Every time I try and scroll down a bit, it shoots up the page. Hang on. Where do we get to? Here we go. Todd. The 318 Poly was still a small block, and the block's dimensions were the same as the later 318 LA. The width was from the design of the heads. That's true. Yeah, they just, I don't know, they certainly look big when you look at them. Yes, the 318 LA was based on the Poly short blocks. Yes, and when you stroke a Poly engine, you use a stroker LA crank, and it just goes straight in. So yeah, it is. The short block is essentially the same. They changed the heads because apparently it was a lot cheaper to make the LA series heads than it was to make the Poly heads. Poly heads are better, but apparently from a mass production standpoint, they were just too expensive to make. Glenn Nickerson, end of night meter. Might have to make it a maiden voyage and tyre change. Oh, hot rods and tyre change. That doesn't seem like a good recipe. JP Sorensen, hi Kiwi, what do you know about the Aussie Hemi 6? Mate, not a lot. Sadly, not a lot. I wish I did. But no, I don't know a lot about them. I know they're a very good engine. They're capable of very good horsepower. Put 3 side draft Webers on them and they go like hell. They're a force to be reckoned with, especially given the era they were from. They were apparently there's some similarities between the Hemi, the Aussie Hemi 6 and the Jeep motor, the 4-litre Jeep motor. Don't quote me on that. It's kind of I've heard that but I'm not 100% sure of the accuracy of that. But apparently they are quite similar, and Jeep being kind of ties with Chrysler and all that, that might be the case. Volfly, hi Kiwi, nice t-shirts. Wait, buy one. Email me. I'll send you some. They're for sale. Sean 806, A806. The blow-by gases would react with the oil, causing sludge, eventually causing oiling issues on the road draft tube engines. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I'll buy that. Yep. Barracuda. I lied to you, Kiwi, about the Valiants in Sweden coming out of the Volvo factory. It was actually the Saab factory. Okay. Huh. Interesting stuff, huh? It's not like Saab sold millions of cars, so they probably had the space and the equipment and the time to do it. So, yeah, it would be kind of cool to see one of those, see how different they were coming, for if the European spec was much different, or whether they just, took an Australian Valiant and assembled it there, exactly as they were in Aussie. I really don't know. Chris Freemasser, cars were lucky to have 100k well after the PCV became a thing. I think it was more about manufacturing tolerances than anything else. I'm kind of with you on that one, Chris. That's always been my take on it. The road draft thing is a little new, but I'm not going to dismiss that out of hand, because that might be a contributing factor as well, and it kind of makes a little bit of sense. Yeah. Stray bullet motor oil technology has improved immeasurably since the 50s and 60s. A lot of those engines spent their life having to endure single weight oil. That's true. Yeah, that's another good point. The oils have come a long way, especially when you look at the weight, like those zero weight oils you got now. It's quite amazing how they're managing to lubricate the engines on this water thin oil, but it works, and they're getting long mileage out of them. Like an LS V8, 150, 200,000 miles is kind of nothing. The lifters might start to give trouble, as the mileage gets up towards 200. You might need to do a water pump, some stuff like that. But the real bones of the engine, the pistons and rings and bearings, they're all just doing great. Lifters do a huge amount of work, and they will fail, with high miles, or start to get noisy and ticky and that sort of thing. Not so much fail, but they get due to be replaced. But yeah, the guts of the LSs, are hanging in there for huge miles. The dude, Baldo, used to say on his live, if his viewers mailed him shirts, he would wear them on stream. Hint, hint. Mate, I'd do that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be about that. Why not? 50s and 60s engines lasted over 200k if they were maintained. Dad's 55 Chevy 210k when totaled. Mum's 66 290k. Wow. Yeah, well, maintenance. Yeah, people didn't maintain them. That's another good point. It's another good point, Todd. That people didn't maintain them as well back in the 50s and 60s. They kind of didn't have to. The cars were almost more disposable back then, because there was a new one coming out every year, like a new body shape or a new model each year. And people went through them a little quicker, I think, back then. It would be interesting to know what the average ownership was back in the 60s, like time-wise average ownership, compared to these days. But someone owning a car for 290,000 miles, that was, I mean, I owned my Dodge, that Dodge Ram. I mean, I had that, and I put 170,000 miles on that. But that was over 15 years. You know, I owned that car for a long time, and yeah. Barry Cooter, not a Fred Dag type of Kiwi then. No, mate, he was hilarious. He's a Kiwi icon, Fred Dag. But no, that's not really me. No, I've got some relatives, or relative in-laws, the wife's relatives in Taranaki, and they are, they're definitely Fred Dag types, and honestly, good people. Good people. But yeah, definite shades of the Fred Dag there. And, they wouldn't be offended by that either. Sean A806, they definitely lasted when you were gentle with them, along with having certain things done regardless of time and mileage. Yeah, well, that kind of probably still applies today, really. Glenn Nickerson, didn't help that the OEMs recommended all changes every 5,000 Ks and there was no detergents. Yeah. Yep. The oils are definitely, everything's a lot cleaner now. And that's the EPA for you, the emissions. Everything is a lot cleaner. Volfly, be right back. The Smeat is ready. There you go. Captain Desmo, I saw the damn thing spin and the doors flew open. Okay, not sure what you're talking about, bud. Did I miss something? Maybe. Sean 806, the all change conspiracy isn't new. People fell for those maintenance intervals and wondered why they fell apart before reaching 100K. Yeah. Well, it's not always what the factories don't always want you to be able to do 300,000 miles and have them last for 20 years. They're the people that make new cars want you to buy new cars, not keep them forever. Gosh, look at TVs. I mean, TVs now last 5 years, what if you're lucky? And when was the last time you saw a TV repair van driving through your neighbourhood to fix someone's TV? That's just a thing of distant memory now. If your TV stops working, you go and buy a new one at Costco. Long Island Mopar. Movie trivia. J. Russell Finch was Milton Berle's character in the movie It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. J. Russell Finch was Milton Berle's character. Okay, So J. Russell Finch was Milton Berle's character. I get it. I had to read it twice. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that movie. I'll be honest with you. I really wasn't. It was a little silly for me, for my liking. But everybody's different. Hang on. There we go. Just trying to find my spot in the comments. Robbie Autry, will you be putting a Hemi in large marquee? Well, yeah, we talked about that, I don't know, half an hour ago. I've got that 392 Hemi, and yeah, it's a left brain, right brain struggle. One side of the brain desperately wants to put a Hemi in it. I just think it would look so cool when you open the hood. And the other side of the brain's like, keep the harder marge in the car, and I've got another poly sitting there, but I don't want to build that motor and make it into a stroker and take the harder marge out, put it to one side, and put this other poly in there. Like if I'm gonna put a stroked poly into marge, it's gonna be her engine. And I don't know. I mean, it's a car. It's a piece of metal. It's not a person, a living thing. But I don't know. I mean, if you're into cars to the level I think most of us are, you have a fondness for them. You see them as a, I mean, some people see them as members of the family. And I don't know. Like Marge, went above and beyond, and that engine carried us 2,000 miles back from San Diego, and it's like, that engine deserves to stay. It went above and beyond what anyone would have expected it to do after being parked for 45 years. And it's like, that's kind of part of the character of Marge is her engine. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Josh Homan, it's just like going to your favourite bar. Oh, there you go. Well, that's a compliment. I appreciate that. The dude, how about doing all-day streams from the shop? Yeah, okay. I know there's guys out there on YouTube doing that. Maybe we could have a dabble with that. Maybe next year when I'm plan next year is to do a little bit more work on my own stuff. And maybe if we're doing something big on Marge or something like that, like doing the engine or something like that, or pulling the engine and tearing it down, that kind of thing. Maybe that would be a good candidate for an all-day stream. But yeah, that's a thought. That's definitely a thought. I mean, it doesn't cost. You're doing it. They're doing it anyway. It's just all you got to do is hit the button on the camera and away you go. People want to tune in, they can. If they don't, they don't. I think Tony did like an all-night one or something, didn't he? And had a surprising amount of people tuning in. I think it was all night, or it was all day, or something like that. I remember being surprised then at how many people were checking in. So yeah, maybe not a bad idea. Long Island Mopars, lots of movie trivia. Sid Caesar was the dentist with the 62 Plymouth wagon. Milton Berle drove the Imperial convertible. Wow, yeah, okay. That's movie trivia for sure. It's all good. Captain Desmo. Well, folks, I'm out. It's snowing up here in the far northeast. Ice Station Hoth. Okay, not nice, not pleasant. What is the time? 8:52. Yeah, we've got about 8 minutes, guys. So, yeah. Wow, that's gone really fast tonight. You guys have been keeping me busy, which is awesome. Desmo, one of Kiwi's caps will keep you toasty warm. That's right, Captain Desmo. A beanie will be just perfect for you. Another shameless plug. Clean Nickerson. How about the Impala bubble top they rented? Oh, and then destroyed in the movie. I'd say I'm not a particular fan of that movie, so I don't remember those things you're talking about. But yeah, destroying a bubble top is sacrilegious, really, isn't it? Barry Cooter, have you watched the movie Last American Hero? Jeff Bridges. Not yet. Jeff Bridges yet. As far as car movies go, it shouldn't be missed. Okay. I haven't, mate. No. I know the name, but I don't think I've seen it. I'll have to look out for that. J. Russell Finch. I do have Sylvester's convertible, but mine is white with a max wedge motor. That sounds nice. That sounds very nice. Todd Denio. The LA engine was developed to fit a V8 in the first generation compact Darts and Valiants. Yeah, that would. That sounds right. Yeah, they were just too big, really, and they needed a more compact engine, like the Windsor, the Ford Windsor, that would fit into a few more cars. As the compacts were getting more and more popular, the engines had to be able to be used, I guess. Long Island Mopars. Last American Hero was also released in the States under the title Hard Driver. Okay, I'll have to go looking for that. That might be something to take a look at tonight when we get off the live before I go to bed. What's on it to be? JP Sorensen. Maybe you've already know, but have you checked out Marabito Performance? A good look at the Hemi 6 performance. I like his work. Okay. Okay. Barracuda, I've got a 245 cubic inch Hemi 6. The horsepower is good, but the torque is the most noticeable thing. Yes, they were very torquey engines. So no one's chimed in about whether the Jeep motor, the Jeep 4-litre, is in any way related to the Hemi 6. I'm not sure whether I've kind of heard talk that it is, but I don't have anything to back that up with. Sorry. Chris Freemasson, Toyota is using 0W8 or 8. Good Lord. Huh. Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it? The dude, a tappy valve is a happy valve. Oh, I'm not sure about that. J. Russell Frinch, brother-in-law, has a Mercedes van. Didn't require an oil change until 70,000 kilometers. Really? Wow. That's amazing. Because all these VVTs and MDS systems all rely on, I'm not sure about Mercedes particularly, but a lot of the ones, the Chevys and the Fords and all that sort of stuff. If you don't change the oil in Mopars, if you don't change the oil regularly, all those little MDS systems and VVT systems will, they'll suffer badly if you don't change the oil regularly. So I'm wondering how Mercedes are pulling that off. Wow. I do believe you, but that sounds hard to believe, if that makes sense. So it's like, if they were saying 7,000 Ks, that'd be more believable, but 70, good Lord, that's a long way. No, shut up again. Firefly still gnawing on Smeet voraciously. Good Lord. Oh, yeah. 6th Street Garage, a lot of engines didn't have oil filters back then. That's true too, yeah. Yeah. It's funny to think of things like that, isn't it? Just no oil filter. I mean, then you go back a bit further, like engines had no oil pumps. It was all just like gravity fed and spoon, like spoon type looking things, splashing oil and stuff sort of thing. And then you go back even further, and it was total loss oiling system where you poured oil in the top and it dropped out the bottom, and you just kept pouring more in the top, slowly, but What do we got here? Trying to skip through a few of these because you guys are talking amongst yourselves, which is awesome. Chris Freemasson, a problem with live streaming your day at the shop is having to watch your language. Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and you guys would certainly get an appreciation for how many interruptions I get during the day. It's amazing how many people come to the shop wanting questions answered, wanting to get prices, and like or just quiz me, which does get a bit old. It's like I'm not a free advice. Well, I try and help as many people as I can, but sometimes your day gets like just tore up with trying to keep everybody happy, and try and be civil to people and help them if you can. And next thing, 2 or 3 hours is gone, and you're kind of behind the 8 ball. Paul Bruno, I think it would be cool to keep large March factory original. I agree. I agree. Firefly, you want to hear someone cuss at home? Marry a teacher. My God, not in front of her kids. I have to keep reminding. Potty mouth. Okay. You heard that expression? Is that an expression you guys who use here? We use that in New Zealand, potty mouth. Yeah, well, my wife's very corporate. She's in the medical industry at a corporate level, and yeah, she'd embarrass a sailor sometimes, especially if you push the wrong buttons. If you know what I mean. Believe it or not, I can be apparently very annoying at times. According to my wife, but hey, I think we can all put our hand up to having done that now and again. Hey guys, well, it's 9 o'clock, and I think I've almost just about caught up with the comments. Where are we going? Sixth Street Garage. Speaking of Smeat in the field, Repo Man, Emilio Estevez is eating from a can that only reads food. Oh my god. Who said that? Chris Freeman. So I thought the Jeep 4-litre was originally an AMC design. Could be, man. I can't remember who told me it was based on the Hemi, and it could be complete and utter fabrication. I don't have any actual knowledge or first-hand knowledge of that being the case. Todd Denier, saying the same thing. Jeep 4-litre is derived from an old AMC. Was not based on a Dodge engine. Okay, fair enough. There you go. That's you guys are obviously on to know more about that, but I'm not a Jeep aficionado. I'm not a big fan of Jeeps like some people. But yeah, so I'm going to not say that anymore because clearly that's not the case. Sixth Street Garage. I think the last American Hero was loosely based on Junior Johnson. Really? That's cool. Robbie Autry, best of luck on selling your merch, Kiwi. Very loosely. Okay. Cade IRL. Hey, Kiwi, just found your video on the vintage air kit you installed in the Mustang. Just wanted to ask you how you liked it. Vintage Air that's my go-to brand for air conditioning. It's very good. It's very reliable. It's relatively simple to fit. Good instructions. It's just I've tried a few different brands, and I just kind of keep coming back to Vintage Air. And there's no financial incentives for me of any kind for me to say that. That's just what I've found that I liked. I do like them. Yeah, I've been Barry Cooter. Yes, I've been watching more and more of the Touring Car Masters. It's great. It's great viewing. Chris Freeman said, "Oh yeah, potty mouth is a thing here." Fair enough. Okay. Potty mouth is used a lot here in Oz. Yep. Yeah, it's getting that time where we've gone over a little bit. Paul Bruno, yep. Thanks for joining in. Have a great night. The dude, sweet dreams, my friend. Chris Freeman, fun all night. Hey man, I've had a great night tonight. I've enjoyed it, and I'm going to go now and check my emails and see how many orders we got. So no pressure at all. But please buy now. Keep an eye open on the homepage or the YouTube homepage, if that's the right term for it, for the Shopify store, and then you can go and order or just email me direct. That'll work too. All right, guys. Well, that's it. I'm out of bourbon. Close enough. So have a great night. Rest of your night. Have a great week. Have a really good Thanksgiving. Take a moment, to think of the reasons we got to be thankful for. It's not just our hot rods that we should be thankful for. There's lots of stuff to be thankful for, and appreciate, enjoy your family and your friends. Have a great one. Don't eat too much. See if you can drink a bit too much, but don't eat too much. Okay. You've got to have room for the alcohol. So yeah. All right, guys. Have a great night. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for coming along. I had a good one, and I'll see you next week. We might have a special guest next week. I'm working on maybe a special guest. and actually a real person, not Kiwi or Peewee or whatever. But yeah, a real person. I'm working on it. So watch this space. All right, guys, take it easy, and I will see you soon. Take care.